Hey, how's everybody doing? Look at this. we've got Bradley. We've got an empty room in the Legacy Lounge.
Is there a basketball game on tonight? Is that what Frank did? He had to go check on the score?
Guess that's probably yeah. Had to go get himself some Perrier.
You were asking me what I was doing earlier. I was out my in-laws' farm picking blueberries, and you know what?
Those looked good.
If it doesn't pick up soon, that's what I'm going to be, a blueberry farmer. Okay, so that's the way it is. That's the way I roll.
That's fantastic right there. That is fantastic. So, fellas, it is so great to see you guys. Hey, Around the Horn. Darren Pepper coming to you from not the worldwide headquarters of Road to Awesome like normal. Today, I am in Colorado Springs, Colorado at Ivy Wild School. But it's not a school anymore. No, it's a community center, as they call it. Several bars, several coffee shops, places to get food, and a place called the Principal's Office, which happens to be a bar and a coffee shop combination. More about that later.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you do look a little pixelated. Frank Renesky from Southern New Jersey, the blueberry capital of the world, Hamilton, New Jersey. Go ahead, take it away, Bradley.
And Bradley W. Skinner in Southwest Wyoming, and I am back in my Iron Man museum, if you will. But it's so good to have you all with us. Thank you for joining. Now, Darren, we also have some other guests with you as well. Is that correct?
We do. For the first time ever in the history of the Empower Half Hour, we have a live studio audience. There you see Val, and there you see Eric, and soon Farah will pop into the room, and there she is. See, the live studio audience just got even bigger.
That's a shame.
So, did I see
that you had to go out to a bar and get a studio audience?
Did I see Lillis rocking his Run JRNC shirt?
Yes, Lillis is wearing the Run JRNC shirt.
Nice.
Sure is. So
if there's any of our viewers out there, we still have some more of those shirts available. If you want one of those good-looking shirts, hit us up. We'll let you know how you can get one.
Hit Bradley up.
All right. So, Frank, tell us about our special guest for tonight. Who do we got?
You can Google Adam DeWitt, and you'll find the CFO and founder of Grubhub. That's not who we have tonight. We have somebody more important than that. From the Midwest, co-host of The Principal's Perspective, Adam DeWitt. Welcome, Adam.
What's up, Adam?
Hey guys. What a great intro.
So much for joining us.
You're welcome. Whenever I Google anything or I get alerts on the web from a Google alert, it is always about Grubhub. So it is not that guy. But I'm glad that I'm more important. So,
you know what? God bless you. You and I have had an opportunity to talk on your podcast, and it was, a lot of great stuff going on. And how we talk a lot about show about leadership and about how positional leadership isn't leadership; it's a position. But you are both. Not only are a leader, but you have a position of leadership. So for everybody out there, tell us a little bit about you and how you actually got into that role.
Sure. Well, before I get there, though, Frank, I think it's more important to know that I also have been to the same spot that Darren is tonight. I've been to the principal's office in Colorado Springs, so that's important to note.
Did you buy a shirt, Adam? That's the question.
I didn't buy a shirt. No. I should have, but I didn't.
Should have. For anybody who's interested, that's the shirt right there. That's right. Libations for the trouble.
And as you guys know, leadership is often something that has to be agile and flexible. So tonight I'm working from the tailgate of my Jeep Wrangler because my wife is inside with a class on her studying for her assessment, her certification for school social work and counseling. So she's in the house and I got kicked outside. So I'm smoking chicken, sitting on the Wrangler tailgate, and it doesn't get any better than that. So to get to your first question, Frank, about how I got to where I am, it's really, I follow kind of a traditional chain. If you were to think like you go from teacher to administrator. So I was in Illinois. That's where I met Dr. Jeff Prickett, my good friend from the Principal Leadership Lab. Started teaching there. I rescued my wife from Illinois. I brought her behind the Chitter Curtain where she is safe and sound. and I taught for several years in a middle school of science in Minocqua, Wisconsin, pursued my administrative career, and worked in my hometown for a little bit. I became a director of curriculum and instruction and technology, and I have landed in Oconto, Wisconsin. I've been there for 8 years, and it is the best place that I've been. I love it. And this year, it will be the start of this year, will be my first year I'm in one building. Up until now, I've shared 2 buildings and 4 schools, and I am excited to have one building and only 2 schools. And the second school is our alternative school for some of our students that may have hit some road bumps along the way, but they are now back on the road to awesome. So we're good there.
Well played.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. Who is this Kathy DeWitt? Do you know her?
Yeah, she's not really studying anymore, I don't think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Once again, we get a spouse crashing the show. Well played, Kathy. Yeah. Well played.
Well played. About 10 weeks ago, my wife viewed the Empower Half Hour for the first time. You know, we were like 50 episodes into it, and she decided to pop in. So, yeah, hey, welcome, Kathy.
She's not really engaged, I guess, into her other. I hope the other people that she's working with aren't seeing what she's doing.
No, I think the key was the most important part of your journey was you took your wife from somewhere. I don't know what the rest of the story is, but
yeah. No, she's good. She's one of the reasons why I can do what I can do. The flexibility that I have within my career, the late nights, and just one quick text that says, "Hey, I'm going to be a little bit longer. I'm helping out with supervision, or I'm helping out with this or that or the other thing, or I forgot to do my board report that's due in the morning, so you can stay a little bit longer." So she's been a great support for me, and now she's branching out on her own and doing her own thing for the first time. Our kids are all old now, so we're getting older, not younger.
Yeah. Oh, tell me about it. You, a couple episodes ago, we were talking to a guest, and we were reflecting on not only how people aren't getting into the field of education, but after they get into the field of education, they're either leaving or not even examining administration as an option. Help us here.
Well, I would be remiss if I said that they're right. I would never turn my back on what I've done. This has been one of the most exciting pieces of my career. And there's some simplistic things too. Like as a teacher, when the bell rings, you do something, right? Like you're like a Pavlovian dog. And so there are some simple things that I've really enjoyed. Like I can go to lunch when I want to go to lunch, unless I'm dictated by one of my clients, customers, or students, right? But I have an opportunity to work with people in very unique situations. And that's from the classroom to the community to the Friday night football games. I don't have enough money to own the Packers. Right now, I don't know that anybody will want to own the Packers because of my beloved Aaron Rodgers. But I, as a high school principal, feel like I'm the owner of varsity sports. So when I go to the stadium, when I go to the gym, when I go to the field, there's so many good things that happen. And those are the places that you can really make some really strong connections. Recently on the Principal Leadership Lab, we talked with Amanda Slavin from the 7th level. A great talk. Jeff and I have enjoyed it. I continue to review our notes because it was such good learning and teaching with Amanda. And she said that engagement is the bedrock of human connection. And that's exactly what I thrive in. The more I can connect, and COVID has placed some difficultness inside of making those connections, but we've done a pretty good job. I mean, I've expanded my PLN. I have a podcast now, and I think that we continue to reach. We just completed number 60 tonight, and it's been hard, but it's been good, and I would never turn my back. So if you're a teacher exploring the idea of administration, please reach out to me. Call any of these guys, I would assume too, that can talk to you about it, because we do need strong leaders to continue on with this work. It doesn't end after COVID-19 goes away. So we need young people, we need old people, we need middle-aged people, anybody that's willing to carry the torch for a few miles.
So Adam, you mentioned when it goes away. So my question for you, I want your top 3. What are your top 3 pieces of advice for leaders, either potential school leaders or current administrators, in a post-pandemic world?
Well, remind me when I get to the second and third one, because I'll forget what I'm on, number 1, 2, or 3. But I would say that the first thing that I learned this year, or I didn't learn it, but I got better at it, was to be sure that you can be flexible and agile in this environment. So we can't turn our back on the things that we did learn. The technology components that we're able to spread the curriculum with students that maybe personalize it, maybe a little bit more is a better word to use. Personalized instruction. to be able to reach families in a different way where it was maybe one-on-one with a screen, but because of time and bells and travel within buildings, that wasn't there. But it's instant when we could turn on a computer and a screen. Now, some people, that didn't work for everybody, right? The screen doesn't work for everybody. So, but we have to remember that all of these tools exist. We don't use a hammer for every job in our house. We have different tools for different jobs. So we can't put this on the shelf and say Zoom stinks, we're never going back to it. We have to continue to use all of our tools to reach all of our students. So that'd be my first thing, to continue to use the tools that did work. I would also challenge not just our district, but any other district out there, that when it comes to schedules and attendance, seat time is a thing of the past. If we can have students that excel and get through certain standards or learning targets at a quicker pace, let them have some voice and choice in choosing where they go with their learning. Because like tonight, nobody made me do this. Nobody makes me do a podcast. I do it because every time I jump on with some group, I learn more than I ever thought I would. So even though you've asked me a couple of questions, Bradley, I'm going to continue to learn tonight, and I love it. I love that aspect of it. So to continue to provide voice and choice for students beyond this. So one more, to know that collectively we did it. And I'm talking more specifically about my district, but I can make it more global. I just don't know all the facts and pieces. But in my own district, our students were the ones that wore their masks. They didn't challenge authority. They just did what they were supposed to do, even though they didn't like it. We didn't like it. Nobody wanted to wear a mask. Some people, though, have said this week that, are you going to still wear your mask next year, Adam? Because it actually looks better if you could just wear that all year. So I think that the jokes and the humor are coming back. So I would say that same thing, to trust in our youth of America. We're in a good place. They don't do it the same way that I did from 1973 onward. They do it differently, but they're still strong leaders within this generation. It was the adults that had a hard time adjusting. Our students just played with it. They went through the system. They finished. A couple of times throughout the year, I had to say, the mask mandates, they might go away. But we're almost done, guys. We have like 1 week left. Can you please just keep your masks up? We don't want the news channels and the newspapers coming here and saying, look at America's youth. They don't follow the rules. They don't do anything good. And they did. The students did it right to the very end, right through graduation. It was fantastic. So trust America's youth, because we're in a good spot.
I think that's awesome, man. So, Adam, let me ask you this. So the reason I'm down here, I just finished a 3-day Wild Heart teacher retreat. And it was just this incredible opportunity. Bradley did it a couple of weeks ago, to just rejuvenate, to just relax, to let some of the crap go. So as you get ready, I mean, you just barely wrapped up this year. But here pretty soon, your brain's going to now start shifting to, how am I going to support my adults as we kick off the new year? What might be some things you're kicking around on? How do you help your staff peel all that crap off and come in fresh?
Well, the first thing that we have already started, I have a good group of guys that I work with. They happen to be all guys, so I can say that. And the three of us, we have a principal and an AP between the three of us, and we are continually trying to find ways to remove things from the secondary level from their plates. Because this year in particular, if we looked all the way back to like August, those teachers had to learn, some of them have never done a Zoom session. So they had to learn a ton of things, plus had to master their learning targets, determine which assessments were best for which groups of students. They had to do all those things plus. Well, I think if we could just do school without a pandemic umbrella over it, we as administrators can say, you know what, we're not going to do this new thing about whatever, this new tool, this new technology, unless you want to. Give teachers a voice and a choice, because they're much better at what they're doing. I didn't leave the classroom because I stunk, but man, I'd be much better now if I had to go back to the classroom. So let's let our teachers have some voice and choice in the tools that they're going to deploy, and let's remove some of the extraneous PD that we used to think maybe was essential. And I think that this year has taught me some things are essential, and other things, you know what, as long as we're alive, we'll be here next year. We'll get to that then.
Yeah, excellent. I think that's a great answer.
Is it getting rowdy over there at the principal's office?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit loud here, but I found the quietest place I could be. I'm actually in an old classroom.
Oh, yeah.
Check this out. This is an old classroom. So this building, I guess, was built sometime in the 1920s, and yeah, it's an old school, and it's pretty cool. That's neat to know that you've been here too,
yeah.
Adam, as well. Yeah.
I had
So
a good friend that lived in Manitou Springs, and I visited him during spring break one year, and we went fly fishing, we went skiing, and it was a blast. So, and then we finished one of our evenings at the principal's office.
nice. I saw Bradley just like really sit up when you said fly fishing. That's
yeah. In Wyoming, if I wasn't in Wisconsin, I'd be in Wyoming. That's my second favorite place to be.
I just went and got myself a fly rod yesterday. I'm going out tomorrow morning.
Excellent, man. That's great. It's a great habit to get into.
I loved it. I had so much fun with that up there at the retreat. Looking forward to it.
Good.
So let's talk about some celebrations. Adam, tell us of a couple. What are some big celebrations from this year that you were just really excited about in seeing what you were able to accomplish or what your students were able to produce and do?
Sure. This one's at the forefront of a lot of discussions just because, there's so much emphasis within the news and within our school boards and around the state, things like that. But ACT scores, I don't always get too involved in it, and I don't worry about it if we go too low or too high. We just kind of keep emotions in check. But I will use this because I've heard that, the COVID slide, the COVID gap, we're all dumbing down America because we didn't have class or we didn't do it this way. And I'm here to tell you that at O'Connell High School, we have a 2-point gain this year. And I know that in the past, I would have been looking for like a 10th or 2/10 or 5/10 of a point. We had 2 points growth from last year. Now, I know it's a different group of students, but that's significant in the middle of a pandemic with all the new technology that we had to deploy, with all the different schedules that we had to deploy. Our students, again, trust America's youth. We'll get there. And that's a great celebration. I'm happy to share that with our school board. And it was on the backs of our students. They didn't let these things bother them. They continued onward.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
we were talking about this last. I don't think it was the last episode. Maybe it was the episode before. But again, I'm thinking about how do we kick it off next year. So you talked about some things to, just kind of help your teachers. What might that first day look like? So we fast forward to September 4th or August 19th or whatever day your day is. What might be some things you're going to do to like blow the roof off of the place for your kids when they come back that first time?
Well, I've wanted to do this before, and I'm always a little nervous because I'm still kind of new to high school. But we had students from our Link Crew team. They came in and they had cheers, and as the incoming ninth graders walked in, they were there cheering them on, and lots of red faces because these little guys are new to the high school. But this is only my third year, and I hope some people are watching. But if my staff members are out there right now watching this, I hope they just don't tell anybody else. But we want to do the same thing with our staff when they come in next year on the first day of school or even for their in-service days, to be able to have our football team, our volleyball team, all the kids that are in session during August to come there and cheer on our teachers because they stood in the gap so that our students could continue to learn this year. And I want our students now to say, hey, you did it too. So let's celebrate you. And I think that's a good way to do it. Aside from food, teachers are pretty humble people. They don't really want to be recognized too much, but they'll take a bagel, they'll take a hot cup of coffee, and if they can see their students cheering them on and high-fiving, I think we can touch next year. Not just elbows, but I'm hoping that we can do some high fives. Just don't put your fingers in your mouth, right? Just don't lick your fingers. You'll be fine.
Well, I've got an idea I'll throw out there, especially for those of you in school districts that get together with all of your schools at the beginning of the school year. Go and talk to your high school band. Have them prepare, 5 or 6, just short excerpts from some songs. Have them come and play, but you do it as a competition with representatives from each school in your district, and you do your own little version of Name That Tune.
That's good. That's good.
I like that.
We used to do this thing even before the pandemic. Instead of welcome back, we called it welcome forward. And I think that's more relevant now than at any other time because we don't want to go backward. We know where we've been, so let's keep moving. And if we're all on the same page, usually if you ask somebody what they want, it's usually what the person next to them wants and the person next to them wants and what you want. And as Adam said, it's hey, we'll take a cup of coffee and a bagel and a smile, and we want to feel appreciated, and that's something that without that human connection, without that human touch, sometimes you don't feel that gratitude as much as you have in the past?
I think that's, it just gets back to, all of those ideas, are fantastic. Adam, I love the idea of your kids coming and cheering on the teachers because, now we're jumpstarting that relationship building.
Yep.
Just right away. And, again, it's going to help your teachers really feel like, hey, the kids are here for me just as much as I am for them. And, that was one of the big takeaways for me on this entire school year was even in that first week back that we came back, we were in person all year, but, our teachers needed our kids just as much as our kids needed our teachers. So, I think that's a really powerful idea, man.
Well, maybe I'll have some music.
What's on your song list? What's on your song list, Adam?
What's that on my song list?
Your song list.
I'm thinking like "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel would be a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah. "Highway to Hell," maybe. Oh, maybe that was for this year. I couldn't do that one now. That's over.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
I bet that it would actually be fun just to create a playlist for principals and new staff meetings in August and put that on Spotify and share that out. Memories from COVID, because I don't want to make light of COVID either. I had a close friend pass away, a family friend of ours die because of COVID way back in the beginning, and so I don't want to make light of it by any means. But I do think that we have to grow from it and try to have some humor and grow together through that laughter for the upcoming year. So a good Spotify playlist of good songs to put us in a good spirit would be awesome.
I'll add
Absolutely.
Britney Spears' "Toxic" to that one then.
Yeah. There you go.
This hashtag group. That would be a great welcome forward email. What's on your playlist?
Yeah.
I
I
like
like
that.
that.
It's a good idea.
I don't have a pen. Frank, are you going to send me those ideas? I don't have a pen on here in the garage.
You can always rewatch the show.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say the great thing about the Empower Half Hour. It doesn't
So
go,
we did a thing.
it doesn't go away.
We did one thing, and I stole this from somebody else. I don't remember who it was, but beg, borrow, and steal. Give credit once, and it's your idea. I'm sure I've given credit for this somewhere along the line. I think it was my first or maybe my second year as a superintendent, but we bought up all the Happy New Year crap after New Year's, and of course then you start your school year with Happy New Year. So kind of some Old Lang Syne would probably be a pretty doggone good tune to throw in there too.
Yeah, I think you stole that from me. Yeah.
Like I said, I gave credit once, and
Drop the
maybe
ball.
you were there to hear it, maybe you weren't. I don't know.
Drop the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. Drop the ball.
I see that my student services director left a comment on the Facebook page on the Empower Half Hour, and she said, "Don't stand so close to me" would be a good one.
Nice.
Oh, that is a fantastic.
There she is. She just added it.
Song.
That's a great idea.
That is well done right there.
That one
Looks like she's an Adam DeWitt fan.
Well, I'd like to think so, but I'm actually a big Meg fan. She's fantastic, and she is a walking story. And what I like about Meg, aside from her work with our students, so this is outside of that, with every story, she has a picture on her phone. So if she said, "Hey, I know Frank," she'd be like, "Yeah, see, there's me with Frank. I got a picture." She has a picture to prove her evidence or as evidence for everything she does. Right now, she's fostering raccoons. So she's got her hands on a little bit of everything.
Wow.
Who fosters raccoons, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
I would
So
do
we're
that. I
gonna
didn't know you could even do that. That sounds awesome.
yeah, Bradley, you foster all kinds of animals, man. You need to take that on.
Yeah, I didn't know raccoons was an option. Maybe that's not here in Wyoming, but now I want to.
Yeah.
You could probably just go up in your roof and you could grab a few.
Speaking of raccoons, if you guys need
In New
something
Jersey,
good,
huh?
my all-time favorite, and it's just awesome. Go check it out. Google it after this episode. Check out the Rocket City Trash Pandas. My favorite minor league ball club in the world. It's awesome.
I'm gonna have to get a hat.
Rocket City Trash Pandas. That's
their mascot is literally a raccoon in a flying garbage can.
That's awesome. So that would be right here on their hat. I'm gonna have to get that.
Yep, check it out.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Got to find me one of those. Yeah. So I know we're headed into our final thoughts here pretty quick because
Yeah, Darren,
Power
I'm
half hour.
interrupting you. Before we need to see your group again. We need to see your base. Let's see
So,
your live
Live
audience.
crowd.
Here
They
is,
were here for a
I
second.
have one member of my live studio audience because
There it
they
is.
can't
There it is.
hear. Lillis is
Oh.
here. He's just not in this room because he can't hear from my headphones, and it was like too delayed, so they all went out into like the hallway or something, and they're watching out there. So
right on.
So yeah, so I do in fact have a live studio audience. In fact, I have a very large live studio audience. I just happen to know 3 of them. There's a whole bunch of people here. So
Excellent.
yeah. So there you go. So someday the trivia question will be, who was the guest on the first episode of the Empower Half Hour that had a live studio audience? And the answer will be Adam DeWitt. There you go. Over here. That guy right there. Yeah. I want to know, Adam, before we jump into final thoughts, dude, tell me what's on the smoker, and I don't just say chicken. Tell me what's going on there.
Well, I had a little bit of a mix-up because, with the whole Eastern time, Mountain time, Central time. So I was finishing my recording with Jeff for the Principal Leadership Lab, and then my wife is doing her thing. So it is unfortunately just chicken, but on the smoker behind me, we're using some bourbon barrel pellets right now to infuse some smoke into those chicken. I turned it way down because, like I said, I thought I had like another hour, so I turned it down. So it's just smoking back there, and it's gonna be tasty. I was able to grab a few blackberries and a little bit of a salad because then Frank I saw come into my Twitter feed and be like, "Hey, you coming on?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm already. We're on." Oh, Eastern time. So, but again, right? Be flexible. Don't be angry.
Just a little secret. Little secret, Adam. I was not yet on. I was on my way back from the blueberry farm, and luckily you weren't either. So.
Well, I was. You just didn't know it, I guess. Now, right? I'm gonna change my story.
Yeah. That's outstanding. All right, Bradley, you want to do the honors? Spin the wheel, and let's dive into some.
Frank might have to do that. I can
do it.
Okay.
I can do it. I think we're going to find out. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Boom.
Wow. Hey. Wow, my head. Wow. Look at that. I could even see the pores on my nose. Anyway, final thoughts for today's show. Adam, thank you so much for being here. You are one of my heroes, and we are coming after some of that smoked chicken. I don't know.
Come on over.
I forgot to tell you that part of being on the Empower Half Hour is we're coming to visit at some point. So thank you for who you are and what you do. Thank you for your forward thinking and throwing out all of those ideas. And if you haven't if you haven't seen yet Adam and Jeff or heard them on their show, then you really need to check it out. And it's all audio. So when I was on there, I thought for sure that it was, I even like combed what hair I had left, and it was just audio. So thank you. We appreciate you.
All right, Adam, you're up.
Well, I am, I hate having the big zoom in thing because now that I don't have to wear a mask, I have to start going back to trimming my beard. So I guess that's one of the things that I did learn is that I have a few more blondes that I didn't know I had before COVID. So I have to pay more attention to my hygiene. So that would please my wife too, I suppose, right? So I'm really grateful that you guys were able to be flexible, and I was looking forward to our episode that we had to change earlier this year. So I think that's about it for me. I'm just pleased. I'm pleased that we're heading into the summer, that our teachers can regenerate, and that our students are going to come back fired up, ready to go.
Outstanding. All right, I'm up. So I'm going to tell you again, so I'm in this building, and I was at this retreat this week, and I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about right now. What my final thought's going to be related to is just repurposing. We've talked a lot about whether we're losing teachers, we're losing leaders. What is it that the beginning of the new year is going to look like? All of those types of things. I just keep coming back to that word repurpose and refurbish and refresh. And when I get an opportunity to be in a place like this here at the principal's office, this beautiful old school from the 1920s that still has the old gymnasium and still has the bathrooms looking exactly like they probably did when the building was brand new, they could have torn it down, right? but instead they repurpose the space, and it's an incredible space, and it's a space that you can very, very clearly tell that Colorado Springs is very, very proud of. So, don't throw it all out. Just go ahead and do a little bit of repurposing.
Well done, Darren.
I like that. Well, for my final thoughts, when we look, even as adults, all of us, we all know how easy it is to spot and find a Volkswagen Bug or Beetle. And the reason for that is because we learned when we were little kids to look for them so you could punch your brother in the arm. So that same thing needs to happen with the positivity within our schools. Talk about those celebrations. Find the good things that happened from this year and make sure you're recognizing it and start setting forth that model to others. It's going to be easy to find the negatives, so don't do it. Start always pointing out, find those positives, mention those celebrations, even no matter how small it is. If it's a couple points improvement on a test, if it's big accomplishments for students academically, behaviorally, or even on the sporting fields, just celebrate them anyway. Start setting forth that. You'll find some incredible things are going on in your school that you didn't even know about.
That's fantastic. And look, my studio audience is back. Everybody get out there. Yeah, Bradley says he misses you guys. So, everybody get out there. Have a Road to Awesome week. Adam, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for
our
joining
live
us.
studio audience. We appreciate you. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.
See ya.
Thanks, guys.